Me, a local poultry farm. Now, from the previous video, many of you have been giving us phone calls. Many of you have been asking, sending comments. That video went so viral on all our platforms. But people were asking themselves, how is it possible to start with 6 million, 7 million, and then you start earning 5 million every month for 2 years or 3 years? Now, most of you have been asking us that same question. Me, a local poultry farm, how is it possible? Can it even be possible? Because everyone is wondering how that is possible. To remind you, me, a local poultry farm, didn't start with a lot of money. We started with, I think it was about 11 million. But see where we are right now. Now, in farming, like we always tell you, you can never go wrong. First of all, get the right information from the right people. Note that everyone who's going to give you information, okay, has enough knowledge or skills to train you or to equip you with all the information, all the knowledge, all the skills that you need. So it's very, very, very important that you get this information. Now, today, what are we going to look at? Today, we are going to look at some calculations, just like last time, and then get to know, is it possible to make this 5 million we are talking about? Because many of the families, you'll find they are living below the poverty line in our dear country, Uganda, or in most of the African countries. But then when you talk of 6 million, 7 million, 8 million, I think that is something less than $2,000 or something equivalent to $2,000. And I tell you, this money is going to kick poverty out of your family, out of you for the next 2 or 2.5 years if you practice local poultry. So this is what we're going to talk about, and this is what we want to prove. Okay? So please, like I always tell you, stick with this video up to the end. You're going to get so many bonus tips at the end. If you miss anything, please, you can always come and revisit this video so that you can know how we make this money. Now, before we dive into that, welcome to this exciting episode of The Farm With Us, where we get to answer all your questions right here in our classroom. Me, a local poultry farm, as usual, is located along Fort Poultry Road in a trading center called Rivale, just as you enter Matiri Forest, okay, in Chenjojo district. So all of you who need local poultry, those ones who need one-day-old chicks, we have so many clients from upcountry, Gulu, Tororo. You guys will love you so much. Everywhere you're watching us from, those of you who call us from diaspora and send us your relatives to give them chickens, to equip them with skills, guys, we love you so much. So call us if you need one-day-old chicks. Call us if you need 1-month-old chicks. We are here to serve you. We don't want to waste a lot of time. We are going to dive deep into the episode for today. Now, why are we here? We want to prove the money that we talked about. Is it even possible? Because someone called us and said, this is impossible. The calculations we made are not possible. You cannot make 5 million per month out of 8 million or 7 million or 6 million. The reason he was giving is that I think a relative called him and asked him, what can you do for 15 million, for 10 million? You know, a business that can make you rich. And he said, in Uganda, if you need to start up a business, you need more than 100 million. No, you don't need 100 million. You need enough skills, you need enough knowledge, and you can kick starting. Any money that you have can make you rich. So we're going to look at 3 steps, okay? But some people were complaining that our videos are so long, so sometimes they don't have the data, sometimes they don't have enough time to watch. So we're going to break this episode into 3. So there are 2 things we're going to look at. Remember, we talked of the word value addition, okay? Now, what is value addition? We've talked about this, I think, in so many videos. We said we can add value to our eggs and sell them as fertilized eggs. You can add value to the eggs, hatch the chicks and sell them as one-day-old chicks. You can even add value to the one-day-old chicks and sell them as 1-month-old chicks. Those are the 3 steps we are going to look at. But today we want to look at the simplest step. Let us look at you selling those one-day-old chicks. Okay? We always tell you here that we sell each one-day-old chick at 3,000 shillings at Mia Local Poultry Farm. And you guys have supported us. We know there are so many people who sell at 3,500. You have your reasons. At Mia Local Poultry Farm, we sell it at 3,000 shillings. And in this calculation, we are even going to bring that price down and sell each chick at 2,000 shillings. So let's dive into the calculations for today. Now, without wasting a lot of time, let's look at someone who has 250 chickens or 250 hens. Okay, after raising them and everything, now if you have 250 hens and they are at point of lay, okay, those birds that have already started laying, those are the birds we are going to look at for today. Okay, let us go step by step, and we are going to be very slow so that we can all understand these calculations, because most of you are waiting for how do I make 5 million every month for 2.5 years. Okay, now we said we are going to look at someone who has 250 female hens or chickens. I know all the hens are female, but I'm trying to emphasize female. We are not looking at cocks. We are looking at 250 hens. Now, in 250 hens, you are going to go to another farm and get 25 cocks, okay, and put them in the 250 so that they become 275 birds. Why do we need to put in the 200 and why do we need to put in the 25 birds in the 250? Remember, we need to add value to our eggs so that they can become fertilized eggs. Now, like I told you, you cannot use the cocks that you have in your hens. You need to go to another farm and buy the 25 cocks and put them there. Why? We have talked so much about inbreeding. For today, we are going to calculate only the profits. So now we have 275 hens or chickens in our flock, the 250 female and the 25 cocks. Now, fast forward, before we even look at the eggs and everything, how much money are we going to feed these chickens, the 275, in a day? Because we want to calculate how much we are going to invest, and then we're going to look at the profit, and then we can subtract what we used, what we fed the chickens from the profits. Now, 275 chickens. Remember, each adult chicken eats 120 grams. So we are going to get 275 chickens times, okay, times 120 grams, okay. The value that you're going to get, we divide by 1,000, because to get kilograms out of grams, you have to divide by 1,000. So we are going to need 33 kilograms of feeds to feed our birds. So the daily consumption is going to be 33 kilograms. But now we need to know the money value, the value of these feeds, okay, in terms of money. Now, the 33 kilograms, we said if we are mixing these feeds at our own farm, we have always been teaching you how to mix these feeds. It's going to be, we are going to need 1,500 shillings, that is Ugandan shillings, for every kilogram. Now, 33 kilograms of the feeds times 1,500, what do we get? We are going to get 49,000. We are going to get 49,500. Let's round off and call it 50,000 Ugandan shillings. 50,000 Ugandan shillings, I think in dollars, it's about $15 or $16. So that is the daily consumption we are going to need for the 275 birds. Okay, I think we are together up to this. Now, we know the daily consumption. What is the monthly consumption of these birds? It's very simple. We're going to get the 50,000, the daily consumption, multiply by the 30 days. What do we get? We shall get 1.5 million Ugandan shillings. So that means all the 275 chickens that we have added the male and the female, are going to consume 1.5 million shillings worth of feeds in 1 month. As simple as that. Okay? Now, how much money is that in dollar? 1.5 million shillings is about $428 US dollars. So you guys, you'll calculate better. Okay, now we know that in 1 month we can feed our parent stock 1.5 million Ugandan shillings. Now let us calculate the profits. Now, we told you that these chickens, all of them are not going to lay. They are going to lay at a percentage of 70 or 80%. What does that mean? This means that if we have 250 birds, now we are looking at the female birds only, because the male are not going to lay. So if you have 250 hens, and we calculate the laying at the lowest, that is 70%, we are going to be collecting 175 eggs. Very good. 175 fertilized eggs. Now, let's look at how many eggs we are going to calculate in a month. Let us not even look at a month. Let us, because we have calculated the consumption, the feeds of 1 month. So we are going to calculate the profits of 1 month. But let's assume we are not going to take all these eggs at once. We're going to break these eggs into 3. Okay? Let's assume we are going to be taking the eggs into the incubator every 10 days. So if we are getting 175 eggs in a day, that means in 10 days, we are going to get 1,750 eggs. That in 10 days. Okay? That is in 10 days. Now, if you get 1,750 eggs in 10 days, and we take them to the incubator for hatching, how many chicks are we going to get? Not all the eggs are going to hatch. We have been talking about this. Remember, there are eggs that maybe were never fertilized. There are eggs that could be a little bit damaged. There are eggs that, all sorts of things. So, let's say when the worst comes to the worst, we are going to get back 1,200 chicks. Let's assume the 550 eggs did not hatch, even though we know the number of chicks we get is going to be much higher than the 1,200. But let's count at the lowest. So we have 1,200 chicks got from our 250 hens in 10 days. Okay? Remember, we are calculating for 10 days. Then we shall multiply by 3 to get the profit of 30 days. So we are now concentrating on the 10 days. Now that means if we get 1,200 chicks in 10 days, we are going to put them in the brooder. Okay? Actually, let's not even put them in the brooder. Let us sell these chicks. Okay? Because you see, we are looking at value addition. And we said we are going to look at 3 stages. One was selling as fertilized eggs. Another one was selling as 1-day-old chicks, and another one is going to be selling at 1 month. So when we sell the 1,200 chicks, okay, as 1-day-old chicks, how much money are we going to get? 1,000, that is 1,200 chicks times, let's sell them at the lowest money possible. Don't sell like what Mia is selling. Don't sell like what others are selling at 3,500. Let's bring down our chicks to 2,500 because we don't have the available customers. We need to attract so many people to come and buy from us. So if we are selling each chick at 2,500 Ugandan shillings, and we are selling 1,200 chicks, it's going to be, we are going to get 3 million Ugandan shillings. So that means in 1 month we are collecting 3 million Ugandan shillings. So, not in 1 month, sorry. I said in 10 days we are going to be collecting 3 million Ugandan shillings. But like we said, our calculations, okay? Our calculations are for, The calculations are for 1 month, that is 30 days. So what are we going to do? We are going to multiply the 3 million times 3, which is going to give us 9 million. So that means we are going to get a profit of 9 million shillings. But remember the 9 million shillings, what are we going to do? First of all, we are going to subtract the money that we have been using to feed the parent stock for the period of 1 month. And we know this money is 1.5 million. So when we subtract the 1.5 million from the 9 million, we are going to remain with 7.5 million. Now, there is the money that you use in the incubator to pay for these chicks, the money you're going to use for vaccinating these chicks, the money you're going to use to buy boxes, the amount of money you're going to treat these chicks, vaccination, we have talked about that, so much. Let's remove, even if it is 1 million shillings, even though it will not go beyond 500,000 shillings. But let's remove 1 million shillings as the cost of production. That means you're going to remain with 6.5 million shillings. Guys, we talked of 5 million shillings, but this first calculation alone is giving us 6.5 million shillings. So I think you guys can see, sorry, we had a little bit of a vibration. That's why I had to hold my camera in the hand. Okay, so we have just seen that the amount of money that we are going to get is going to be 6.5 million shillings. Guys, isn't this amazing? Okay, isn't this amazing? So someone was calling me and saying that, you cannot make that money. The information that you are giving us is this. But like I always tell you, that if you don't believe this, come to me, a local poultry farm. Come and see these things for yourself. Come and camp at me, a local poultry farm. Come and stay with us for a week or for 2 weeks. Okay? Look at these things. Look at how we feed these parent stock. Look at how we collect the eggs. How many eggs do we collect in a day? Okay? How many times do we take eggs to the incubator in 1 month? How much money do we sell these chicks, 1-day-old chicks? Okay? So, you're going to find out everything for yourself. But sometimes, most of you go out there, I don't know what's wrong with you people. You go out there, start consulting the people who have never even reared 100 chicks, local chicks. Just because you saw him with broilers, just because you saw him with layers, and then he's going to give you that fake calculation that does not apply to the local birds. Guys, I always tell you that the people who are rearing the local birds will give you the testimony. I don't need to know them. But if you see the people who are rearing, the people who are breeding these local birds, they will tell you how much money they are getting. And for us, I have calculated here for 10 days. Mostly, you have to calculate your profits in 7 days. In farming, in local poultry, we calculate our profits every 7 days. And the calculation I have given you is going to run for 2.5 years. And that's when the chicks or the chickens are going to start becoming off layers. You find it today it is laying, after 4 days it's laying again, then it will spend a week without laying, then you know they are off layers. Okay, I told you the simple calculation. If you see you are getting about 175 eggs per day, and then you wake up in the morning, like after 2 or 2.5 years, the eggs are reducing to 130, they are going down to 110, they are going down to 80, to 50, then you know your chicks are growing old, they are becoming off layers. It's time to sell them off and start up with the new flock. But even before you get 2 years, I always encourage you that by the time you get in 1.5 years, you need to start with the new flock, that by the time this one is getting old or they're getting off layers, you have the other ones that are already laying, so that you don't go out of business. Most of you want to lay until these chicks are off layers and now start grooming, raising the 1-day-old. And by the time they start laying, that's about 5 or 6 months. you have lost all the customers, you are you're lost in the industry, and regaining or gaining back these clients that you are sustaining, it's going to be hard for you. So it's very, very, very important you start up with the new generation, even when you still have this other flock giving you money. So guys, like I told you, I don't want to make this video long. I love you guys so much. Me, a local poultry farm, is here to answer all your questions. Me, a local poultry farm, is here to encourage you, to make sure that we equip you with everything you need, the knowledge, the skills, the experience. We give you everything. You come to our farm and we shall equip you, equip your managers, your workers with everything they need to know when it comes to local chicken farming. Like we always tell you, please don't call us if you need to rear broilers. Don't call us if you need to rear saso or layers. We only deal in the local chicken farming. Okay? I love you guys. Thank you so much. Our numbers are everywhere on our YouTube channel. I love you guys. Bye-bye.